You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the November 20th meeting of the Michigan City Sanitary Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I'll set up here. Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting of the Michigan City Sanitary District November 20th, 2024 meeting to order. And we'll do roll call. We've got Tim Werner.
Here.
Andy Sperling.
Here.
And our newest board member, Tance Falls.
Here.
And Mr. Babcock will not be with us this evening. So first of all, we're going to start with bid openings.
Okay, the first one I have is from Woodruff and Sons.
Did you say what project this is from?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the US 12 Lake Avenue Lift Station project. The first bid is from Woodruff and Sons, and total bid $2,883,501.88. $2,883,551.88. The alternate bid would be $114,452.44. $117,452.44.
Is there an alternate bid number 2?
Yeah.
There's a second alternate.
Oh, there is?
Yes.
There's an alternate bid number 2.
Okay.
Come on there.
Oh. That's just a copy. Let's see. Kyle, is there?
Maybe there should be in there.
There it is.
Okay.
So alternate bid number 2. Alternate bid.
105, okay. So it shows a total alternate bid number 1 of $105,853.32.
Bid number 2 is right below it.
And then number 2 would be total alternate bid number 2, $11,599.12. $11,599.12.
Can you repeat alternate number 1, please?
Yeah,
Number
because,
1 would be,
before you read that, because previously you gave a $114,000
Sounds like
figure.
they were added or something.
so correct. So I gave this is $117,000 of alternate bid.
Oh, that's both alternates added together. Yeah.
Oh, there's a total. Okay.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like when you had the number.
17, yeah, okay.
Yep. So the individual price for alternate 1 is again down there in the bid sheet you just had.
Individual price would be $105,853.32. $105,853.32. And then $11,599.12.
Thank you. All right, got to the rest.
Put it in the middle of the packet.
Yeah, if I could, Madam President, just, it's helpful for any bidders in the future if you could just tab, if there's a total base bid, flag that with a pink flag or something as bright as possible, and then if there's any alternates, tab that. It's helpful. If you can make it bright, colorful, that helps too.
Second bid would be from H&G Underground Utilities LLC, 7 Vertical Drive, LaPorte, Indiana. And their total base bid cost for the project would be $2,752,284.21. $2,752,284.21. Total alternate bid cost for the alternates is $99,937.95. $99,937.95. The total bid base price is $2,752,284.21. That's just a repeat of that.
Yeah.
95. So is there an addendum or something, or is that all I need on
That's
this?
all you need. I mean, we could, there's probably in the bid tab sheet for all of them, there's probably the individual alternates.
Breakdown?
listed. Yeah. But I think the total is probably all we need, right? The total of the 2 alternates, or do we need to announce the 2? in the-
Technically, you should announce the other 2 because you have the ability to award the base bid
And
and
the
the
individual
alternates separately, so you should read them.
So if you can find the unit price sheet, which has the alternates on it. Like you found with the Woodruff one.
So I just read it.
You can just hit,
Okay. There we go. The addendum, total alternate bid number 1, $76,592.96. $76,592.96. Total alternate of bid number 2, $23,344.99.
yeah, I'll pick that stack wasn't as ready to go the next time.
Yes, is that the, yeah. Next would be Grimer Construction Incorporated, 2619 Main Street, Highland, Indiana, 46322. Total bid price for the project, $3,210,156.80. $210,156.80. Total alternate bid cost for the alternatives would be $170,299.70. $117,299.70. I'm trying to sneak through
That's right.
here.
Next page. No, next.
Yeah. Okay, total alternate bid number one, $89,710.70. $89,710.70. Total of alternate bid number two, $27,589 even. $27,589 even. Next will be HRP Construction Incorporated, 5777 Cleveland Road, P.O. Box 266, South Bend, Indiana, 46624. Total base bid for the cost of the project, $3,978,000 and no cents. $3,978,000 and no cents. The total alternative for the bid is $95,250 and 1 cent. $95,250 and 1 cent. Just one of these. There we go. Yeah. Total alternate bid number one, $95,250 and 1 cent. Alternate bid number one, $95,250 and 1 cent. Alternate bid number two, $117,987 even. $117,987 even. Next bid will be from Gatlin Plumbing and Heating Incorporated, 1111 East Main Street, Griffith, Indiana, 46319. Total bid cost for this project, $3,400,000 even. $3,400,000 even. The alternate bid for this is $82,740 even. $82,740 even.
Label them so with a bid cap.
Itemized, I like it. That's really nice. Next will be the total alternate bid number one, $71,000 even. $71,000 even. Total of alternate bid number two, $11,740. $11,740. I make a recommendation to turn these over to our attorney for review.
I will make that recommendation, make the motion to do so.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, we have approval of the minutes from the October 23rd meeting, and we had an executive session, and And we have the minutes for that and also the regular meeting. Any comments or changes before we move on or make the...
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the executive session held Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024.
I will second that motion.
All right, did we just vote on the executive only? Okay, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And then second, we have Wednesday, October 23rd, the regular meeting. Need a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the regular board meeting held as well on Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024 as presented.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And Madam President, before we go to public comment, do all the commissioners certify that for the executive session held October 23rd, there were no items discussed other than the information included in the posted and advertised notice?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, public comments?
Oh, here we go.
Public comment?
Okay.
Okay. City Councilman Don Pispolinski, 215 Gardena Street. I have two items. Number one, starting from Patinia Drive, going north down Franklin Street, I've noticed, and I'd like the district to check them out, but the manhole covers in the middle of the street, they might be sticking up maybe just a little bit too high for whatever reason. And with winter coming along, I don't want to see the plows on the snow plows catch them and pop them up or damage the snow plows. The second item, last night at the city council meeting, there was an ordinance presented to the city council for $300,000 for repairs to the refuse trucks. And I had brought this suggestion up both to the mayor and to Mr. Yagelski, that I know that trucks get damaged from picking up furniture, picking up mattresses, things of that nature. And also there's a lot of mattresses, household goods and things like that laying around on curbs throughout the city, that we kind of put it in front of us as a priority to develop and open up a household wares dumping area somewhere in the city that would be managed by the sanitary district, and people could come there during the day, dump off their furniture, couches, small construction debris, whatever you may have, dump it into roll-off boxes, and it's taken care of. You have to be a citizen of Michigan City in order to utilize that. And I showed it to the mayor. I have a picture of one that's up in Brownstown, Michigan, and it's a very simple operation, nothing glamorous, but I think it would serve the purpose of folks having to call the street department or the refuse department and say, hey, I have a pickup, I have a couch. Okay, we'll put you on the list. Well, sometimes the list is way long, or the list maybe gets looked over and the couch never gets picked up. Okay, you can get somebody with a pickup truck, if I have an old mattress I want to get rid of, I know where to take it, Monday through Friday, to this dumping area, and it's taken care of. And it saves the city man hours, manpower, diesel fuel, and all the costs associated with operating a vehicle. So I'm just bringing that to the board's attention. Maybe you can put that on your agenda or pending items, that we stay in front of that and try to make that a priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prepolinski. No,
I have a couple.
Okay.
So, in reference to, hi, good evening, everybody, Mayor Angie. In reference to that, I know that Chris may report on that, but we are working on a dumpster program so that just those things that you're talking about, that as we transition some of those dumpsters away from those apartment complexes, that we will be able to provide some of that for our residents and hopefully prevent some of these people who are dumping at these apartment complexes from doing that. It'll become their problem, not ours. The second thing is tonight, I'm gonna have to leave a little bit early. We have an ARPA workshop, and one of the items that will be tonight is in reference to a refuse truck that is available right now on the lot. We are going through our process of making sure that we have all of our money accounted for our ARPA dollars, because it has to be done by way of MOU contract. Everything has to be obligated. So we're having a workshop to talk to the council about that. And one of the items that is a recommendation is to purchase that refuse truck. It's a rear loader. It's not one that's eligible for the grant that we received, but we know that the trucks are breaking down. And this one is available at a much lower cost than we would pay brand new. So we want to make sure that we get that taken care of this year. Hopefully they don't have any buyers. Mr. Yagowski. All right. Because we have a trade-in, so we're talking under $300,000 for a truck that's typically $350,000. So those are two of the things that we have. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, and I am happy that the council did pass the refuse ordinance. We know that workman's comp has been an issue for our refuse department, and I think this will help alleviate some of the stress for them. Not everything, trucks and equipment are the same, but without the ordinance, we're stressing not only our employees, but we're stressing our equipment. That's what's happening. And then I would like to welcome our newest board member this evening, Mr. Tansball. So I'm glad that you accepted the appointment, and look forward to working with you over this next few years as well. So I think those are all the things I have for this evening.
Thank you, Mary. No other public comments? We'll go on to financial report.
Yes. So our operating fund, and this is through our city controller, Tamiko Smith. As of today, our cash balances are sanitary district operating fund $2,020,990.35. Our tax levy for the refuge would be $1,983,166.54.
Okay. Number 7.
No, it would be, next would be
6B.
6B. Okay. Are you doing all of?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought you'll stop, so. All
That's
right,
okay.
perfect.
Next would be 6B, which would be requisition for the shared lateral costs. This is 209 Kenwood Place. This is normal procedure through the council that we share the costs of this lateral being put in. So our shared cost to cover this would be $1,930 directly to the homeowner. We have the documentation that backs that number up by the company that took care of the H&G construction. So I'd like to recommend that we pay that amount.
We have a recommendation from our business manager.
Move to accept the recommendation of our business manager.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Next would be number 6C, which would be Fence Master's proposal. Unfortunately, there's only so many fence companies around in this whole entire area to try to get anybody to even give us an estimate. It took us a month to try to get that. So we were finally able to get one estimate from Fence Masters. As everyone knows, we have recently, this last week, brought Refuge to this location. So Refuge has moved from Kentucky Street to this location. It works out of our collections department here. We've taken the Seneca property, which is to the east here, and that's where we have used it. That's the garbage truck lineup, and that's where we're utilizing those vehicles to be parked. In doing so, We don't have to go back and forth because the CNG tank, our filling station is here on our properties, so they don't have to go back and forth to get filled up every day, and it's gonna save a lot of time and energy. And we need to be together anyway. So by doing so, we have to reconstruct this fence that's here in the front of our properties to make it safe for all our drivers coming out, especially with these larger vehicles in that corner lot. So to do that, we need to replace that fence, and we have an estimate of $14,166 from Fence Master, because we're in the book. And I recommend that we enter a contract with this.
All right, we have a request from our business manager.
I move to accept the request of the business manager for the purchase and installation of Fence Masters for $14,166.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion pass.
Board members.
Next, I want to talk about the sales proposal for Best Equipment. Back in July, the board approved a quote through Best Equipment for the purchase of 3 trucks, and that was part of a grant that's through the Drive Clean of Indiana, and that originally was for 2 of the grapple trucks and the 1 automated side loader, 24-yard. It has that helper hand to dump the toters. I'm going to ask the board if we can change that. We have a new quote. We really need another rear loader at the refuse department, so instead of the 2 grapple trucks, we have a quote for 1 rear loader, CNG garbage truck, and a CNG grapple truck, and then the automated side loader, a single axle 24-yard. So we're going to change from the 2 grapple trucks to 1 grapple truck and a rear loader garbage truck. So I'm just asking for the board to approve that change. It will increase the cost. Originally, we were trying to keep the cost down for budget reasons, but we and the refuse department could really use another rear loader garbage truck. So it would increase the cost $32,000 because it would be more as a tandem axle garbage truck. And we need to get approval at tonight's board meeting to secure the chassis, which would be built by Freightliner in Q1 of next year. And it takes a while to build the chassis. That's going to take the longest time. This is for the grant of 2026, but they can start building the truck in 2025, and then they can get to Leach to have the garbage pack there. And the same thing with the grapple truck is through Peterson, and then Labrie on the automated side loader. And we can get that process in motion. So hopefully, the earliest we could get them by the grant is 2025, July of 2025, but most likely it's going to be more towards the end of 2025. Hopefully the earliest, 2026, somewhere in there. So I'd like to get approval to change the order to the single the rear loader, and then the grapple truck and the side loader instead of the 2 grapples. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? No. Hey, can I get a motion to approve as requested by the board?
Move to accept the modification of the order from 2 grapple trucks and a side loader, 1 grapple truck, 1 rear loader, and 1 side loader truck for an additional $32,000.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
You want to talk about the other trucks later?
Yeah, no, let's wait for that.
You want to wait for that?
We will, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Next would be the invoices from Harris Law Firm. I have 3, as you saw in your book. The first one would be an itemized listing of additional work would be $1,181.25. The secondary one would be $56.25, and the third one would be $459 even. Besides that, the Harris Law Firm that has a normal contract with us, which is their monthly contract of $5,000 flat fee. I'd like to pay all 4 of those invoices.
Can I get a motion to approve the invoices for Harris and Company?
I move to approve the 4 invoices that were recommended by our business manager
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the invoices for Harris and Company. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion pass.
As we continue on, we do have in your book that of the bills for the Christopher Burke Group. And that would be their their monthly bill of $43,150.50, which is just needed approval. The check has already been made for that.
Can I get a motion as presented?
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion pass.
Okay. Okay. Next would be the GLE Great Lakes Engineering invoice, which you'll see, and that would be for, it's in your booklet, $35,204.44. $35,204.44. I recommend this be paid.
This is for the Lake Avenue Sewer Extension, correct?
Correct, absolutely, yes.
Make a motion to accept and pay the bill as directed by Superintendent Yagelski for $35,204.44.
I will second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion pass.
Next would be the Haas Associates M-Case Project Contract Award Recommendation.
The reimbursement.
Oh, I apologize. River Graphic Arts?
Yeah, that's what.
I'm sorry, I missed it. It's on the back page.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, I apologize. Reimbursement, excuse me, and this would be also to GL, it also goes to them, correct? The reimbursement for $172.22, which would be River Graphic Arts, that was billed directly to them, that should have been billed to us. So $172.22 to GLE Great Lakes.
Can I get a motion to,
Sorry.
for $172.22? That was billed, was it incorrectly to?
It should be billed, it should have been billed directly to the project.
Billed to-
They billed
Okay.
to them, correct. They'll just be reimbursed.
I move for the reimbursement of the $172.22.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion pass.
Yes. Christopher works November and December.
Yes.
Because I didn't get a copy.
Yeah, I approved it. I will go through that. Ryan, you want to, oh, you have it, okay, good. Thank you. Goes along. Yeah, got too many piles here. Okay. The Christopher Burke, November and December, and we agreed that we were going to prepay this so that we can get checks ahead of time, as we did with Mr. Harris last month. So that total invoice is $39,045.63.
And that's the same for each November and December.
So each one of them is for, one for November and one for December, so that we can prepay them, and they'll be paid through the first of the year.
Move to approve these invoices for November and December in the amounts as stated.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion pass.
Okay. Ryan? You want to address the Haas Associate Contract Award recommendation?
Oh, sure. Can we do one thing? I forgot, I'm sorry, and it's financial.
Sure, absolutely.
Is it okay?
Sure.
Thank you. The other item that will be presented to the council is the $25,000 for the fees the finances, the capital improvement plan, that I forgot to mention, with Baker Tilly, they did provide us a fee schedule. We know that because of everything that's transpired, we need to do our capital asset management plan and all of those items. So I plan on asking for ARPA funds for that. We've been doing that all year long, and they're helping us to get our, they're looking at our budget, helping us to forecast into the future. And I know that I have that contract that was sent to me, but we just weren't there yet. So we wanted to get our budget done. But that is a request for up to $25,000 for that piece of it. We don't know how much it's going to cost. We need the capital asset management plan. We need a lot of things. The rate study, all those things. So I just wanted to give an FYI to that.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Okay. The Housing Associates LLC recommendation for the MCASE project.
So we delivered the contract award recommendation to the board as of November 13th. And we reviewed the bids that were received for completeness and to assess the bidder responsibility and responsiveness. The bids, the apparent low bid was Reith Riley. Their bid, in our opinion, is complete. And after a little bit of follow-up with them regarding some of the answers they provided on Form 96, we find them to be a responsive and responsible bidder. So as the low bidder, and given that they're the responsive bidder, we're recommending a award the contract to them. There is an alternate on this project, and it's the board's can choose to award just the base bid or the base bid and alternate, the alternate A. So that would be up to the board's decision. In either case, we recommend award to Reith Riley.
And I agree with the recommendation by Housing Associates.
For the base bid or the alternate and base bid for both?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right, I'd like a motion for Housing Associates' recommendation that Mr. Yagelski has agreed with. So, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation for Housing Associates as seconded or agreed to by our superintendent, Chris Yagelski.
I will second that motion for Reith Riley, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, motion passed.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right. Next will be MS Consultants Incorporated.
I suppose
Is there enough? Yeah, that's you. I was looking around.
Come on up here.
Yeah.
Come on up.
Yeah, I can't hear.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Give us what you want.
Should I stand here? Have a seat?
Have a seat.
Exclude the audience here. My name is Nathan
You can look at
DeLisle.
the back of them, they can look at the back.
Hi, I'm Nathan DeLisle with MS Consultants. We are engaged with the Sanitary District to complete a capital improvement plan for the treatment plant. And from that capital improvement plan, develop a preliminary engineering report for what would eventually be scoped as a phase 1 improvement project. We've recently embarked on this plan and conducted a kickoff meeting with Chris and his staff. I guess I should also caveat there is a component that is an asset management plan that is focused strictly on capital assets within the treatment plant itself, excluding the collection system. We have partnered with Christopher Burke and Associates as their staff, being operationally embedded with the treatment plant, has a much better grasp on those assets. So we have, again, completed the kickoff meeting. I have brought a electrical and process controls engineer and a structural engineer to the plant, and we spent a total of 3 days working with Jordan and his staff to evaluate every component, every structure within the plant site itself. So moving forward, what we expect from those evaluations is to develop a 20-year outlook for improvements to the treatment processes themselves, and identify what we can foresee to be regulatory and treatment challenges that may come down the pipe from regulatory agencies. That's the scope there. We expect all of these reports to be drafted and delivered for review in February of next year, with comments incorporated, and then a final preliminary engineering report and capital improvement plan document submitted by March for funding. Does that make sense? Are there any other questions? I don't know if I went too deep or if I stayed too high level.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle? Okay. All right. I was kind of sprung on last minute for me to be here. Yeah. Not from Christopher Burton. I was looking at you to see if you had anything else to add.
No, we've started the process with the Anthem, and we're going through that information at the same time as they're doing the work, so.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So there you have it.
All right, well, thanks for the update.
Thank you.
I'll stick around if there's any questions.
All right, that wasn't too hard enough.
No.
For a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's okay.
I'll try to get out of here before the snow starts.
Okay. Under staff reports, I'm going to address a couple of different issues. Number one being that we have the Strickle Pond, which is under our watch for, it's used as of course, retention pond, but it's also utilized as a walking path and restroom facility and actually picnic area that's on the south side of town. My recommendation, because we have had issues with the restroom facilities there, is to close down one side of the parking lot for the winter. So I would like to close down beginning December 1st and leave an open date for the spring, because we just don't know how the winter's going to go. We will still plow the paths itself. We will plow the only north side of the facility with the north side bathroom only open. Would not do the south side whatsoever. So that's my recommendation. I'm looking for support.
And Chris, this is something new?
Brand new, yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Move to support the recommendation of closing the south parking lot for the winter.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. There you go.
As I addressed previously at a meeting in reference to our sludge or our waste distributing when it comes to our plant, we have another company that does services here. This would be Lewis Septic Incorporated. They are in arrears, as the other firm was in arrears. I have suspended their privileges from our facility until that is taken care of. I look for support for that suspension.
Can I get a motion for the suspension as requested?
I'll make a motion to agree with Superintendent Yagowski's suspension for the company in arrears for dumping.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Okay. Next, what the mayor had touched upon, and Josh is here to also address, this is a Vector truck that we have that is technically out of service right now. It can be utilized, but we do not utilize this machine. We're asking that this be put into what they call surplus, and Josh can explain further, but we would be getting, this is the vehicle we want to trade towards the rear loading dump, or garbage truck.
Yeah, the garbage truck that Best Equipment currently has, they're offering us $13,000 for a trade-in value of this Vector truck that we haven't used for a number of years, and that would bring the cost down on that garbage truck that Best Equipment currently has. It's that diesel that Hammond didn't purchase, and that's at a reduced rate, like the mayor was explaining, because of they purchased that truck or the trucks were agreed in the price in 23 and they received them in 24, but somehow there was a discrepancy in the agreement and Best Equipment was stuck with that truck. They're going to sell it at the cost that Hammond was able to get it at in 2023, and costs of trucks have gone up. So we would like to have the board approve using this truck as a trade-in to the truck that Best Equipment has, that diesel rear loader, and they have it on the lot. We won't have to wait for it, so it'd be a win-win for us and the refuse department to be able to get that truck, and then we can dispose of this truck that we don't have a need for anymore.
Josh, what happened with that truck? Was it the vacuum part that broke on it, or the engine of the truck? It
has multiple issues, but it's a 2000 international truck, and Factor Body, we have used it many years, and currently we have 3 other cleaning trucks, so it hasn't been used by the collections department, but there's a numerous list of issues with it. Yeah, the service economical, right? Okay. And so it would work out for a trade-in and help us out with that garbage truck. So we're asking for approval of the 13,000 trade-in on the truck that Best Equipment has for the refuse department.
And that is my recommendation.
Okay, I have a motion from our business manager, and
if I can interrupt too,
yes,
before the motion's made, I think the motion, whoever's going to make it, should be to categorize the truck in question as surplus and approve the disposition of the truck for purposes of the trade-in.
All right. I will move to have that truck identified as surplus and put on the auction block, basically, to get rid of it. Do it as a trade-in.
I'll second that.
Josh, I'm sorry, can you just read the VIN number of that so that we can...
Yeah, actually, I can read that for the record. So we're asking for a truck with VIN 1HTGCADT51H310828 to be considered surplus and eligible for trade-in on that garbage truck.
All right.
motion. Second?
Yeah, a second, yes.
All in favor? Say aye. Aye, motion pass.
All right, get that thing out of our parking space.
Thank you.
Now that we're on the parking space, I have another vehicle that I would like to also request to be put into surplus. This vehicle has been with us for some time. Josh will give the total explanation. However, right now we have an estimate to fix this vehicle of $31,882.72, which is quite hefty for an amount of fixing. We were offered through this company, and Jeff will go further, $50,000 for the vehicle as is. So we wouldn't have to encumber that repair costs. What I'd like to do is, and if it does pass, that we would then put this vehicle in surplus, and then we would get the monies. Then we are allowed through the city to encumber the money for next year. So when we're ready to purchase additional vehicle, or purchase a vehicle, depending on our budget for next year, we'll utilize this $50,000 at that time. So it'll be kind of encumbered into the city. Josh, if there's anything more to explain.
Yeah, like Chris is explaining, this is in our collections department, this Aquatech sewer cleaning truck. It's in need of numerous repairs, and so we took it to Brown Equipment, and they gave us a quote, estimate of just like almost $32,000, just shy of $32,000 for all the repairs needed for this truck. And once we got together with James Michaels and Chris Yagelski, we just didn't see investing that kind of money into this truck. So we want to deem this truck surplus and use that money next year. And we have 2 other trucks currently that we're able to use. But in the meantime, we're going to look at next year a replacement for this truck. We'd like to deem this one as surplus. And they offered $50,000 through Brown Equipment for that truck. And
what's the VIN number on that?
The VIN number for that truck would be 1FVHCY BS2DHFG 7327.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that will make that vehicle surplus, and that then we will also accept the bid from Brown for $50,000, and then be able to encumber those funds for use next year.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion, very well done, and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And if you look at your books, those were the reports from, of course, John Gorsica, from Jim Michaels, from Jordan Hines, as far as the plant, and Sue Lin.
Okay.
I can answer any questions if there is any on those. Otherwise,
We can move forward.
approval of the revenue and
Yes.
tax levy claims for payment. I don't have here. Okay. So this would be total claims of $369,724.38. I recommend this be paid.
We can motion for paying claims.
Move to accept the claims as stated.
No second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Next, under old business, excuse me, on October 23rd of 2024, we were in executive session over personnel matter. That personal matter would be the extension of a person, of an employee, excuse me, for FMLA. And they're asking for an extension to February. We then tabled it to this month, waiting for more information to come forward in reference to this employee. No further information has come forward. They're requesting an extension to February of 2025, or no extension. So this will be the board's privilege. I can't mention the names, of course, but that's where it stands. We have to take a vote on that. So it's either an extension to February of 2025, or it would be not extending the FMLA.
Chris, just correct me. Is this the first time we've done this one on that individual? I know we had one earlier in the year.
Yes, this is the first one. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So can we get a motion on the recommendation from Chris Yagelski?
I really do not have a recommendation.
You don't have a
Sorry. Yeah,
recommendation,
this is
so
kind of
it's up to the board's decision
board's
to move it to
correct.
March.
So I understand that you weren't here for the
Yes.
October, but we had an executive session. In that executive session, it was discussed, and we tabled it to this to see if more medical information would come forward. None has come forward to this point, so now a decision has to be made.
If given additional time, do you believe the person would bring the additional information we asked, or they had opportunity to do it? And
I think a month was ample time, in my opinion. However, I can't get into particulars. I'm sorry. Yeah, this would be holding the position in advance until February. That basically, and allowing him to stay on the FMLA.
That's really the only legal significance of it, because it's unpaid leave.
Yes,
So the only issue is, are we holding the spot for this person or are we not?
That's what I was just gonna ask, is that having an impact on our operations, not having that spot filled through February?
I could let him be that, or let that person be until February if it would not put a burden upon our employee.
Operations, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would need a motion to,
Okay.
which we prefer to do.
What say you, President? What kind of motion you want to ask for?
you said it would create a burden, or would not create a burden?
It would not create a burden.
Okay.
It's unpaid leave, right?
It's unpaid leave. He would keep his benefits to a certain point of benefits to, am I correct? So
And if he stays on to the new year, then he'll get 2025 benefits.
he'll get 2025 benefits.
I'll make a motion that we accept the extension of the FMLA until February 2025 as asked.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Now the tough one, we fought this last month, but we need to reschedule the December board meeting, and you were going to come up with some dates that would be fillable, so we're gonna have to come up with a new date for that.
Um, 18th?
My recommendation is how about if we just send an email out with 3 dates that would work for us, and then see who's available for those dates, just so we're not involving the Christmas season. Then maybe we could all kind of respond to Rachel's email that, like we just did for this month. Makes sense.
That makes sense.
I'm available Wednesday the 18th. That's fine.
Yeah, thanks.
So you got one, Rachel.
Just let Rachel pick the day.
Okay, any new business? Yeah, I jumped again.
We're still under old business, and
He's still coming up with some
we do have old business.
Good afternoon and good evening. Michael Bergerson here on behalf of Lakeshore Sewer LLC, and just to kind of review for your benefit, this is a project that's been going on for, I don't know, about 1.5 years or so through the city council. I represent Lakeshore Sewer, as I said, Michigan City, Indiana. There's 5 homes along Lakeshore Drive, around the 21 to 2200 block of Lakeshore Drive that are on a septic hall type dump system. They can't get a permit for septic out there anymore, which is a good thing for all of us, but it's not a long-term solution to having a pump and dump type situation there. In any event, they've come up with a plan, submitted some drawings, etc., to the district a 1.5 years ago or so, and we then got at least preliminary approval here, and then from Indiana Department of Environmental Management to build this at their cost, no cost to the district or for anything, a low pressure force main system from Lakeshore Drive up Chastleton to Carwick to connect ultimately at near Hacienda. There's a lift station there. Kind of ran into a snag for, I don't want to, it just got delayed. Let's put it that way. And even though the city had made a commitment. We've been working on resolving some of those issues with capacity, and I know from the bids taken today, I think those capacity issues are going to be resolved, and ultimately sometime next year this system that's going to ultimately take the effluent from these 5 homes on Lakeshore Drive and probably a lot of others. This is not built for them, obviously, but they'll contribute to to the use of that facility because there's development all over the north end, as we all know, and apparently not much can get done without having a new lift station there and bringing that effluent to the treatment plant. So in any event, long story short, that is going to help provide additional capacity. Now my client is going to be in a position to hopefully build this low pressure force main and solve their problems along Lakeshore Drive at their own cost. So today, and at the direction of the board for the last couple of months, I've been working with Mr. Harris's firm to get a private sewer agreement drafted, which was again part of when we went in front of the City Council last year, and it was unanimously approved that these homeowners who, number one, would waive any objection to any annexation or merger, et cetera, down the road in the event that some type of petition like that was put before the council, and they would not have any objection. So those homes are going to come onto the district from the standpoint of tax collection, etc. The sewer system they're going to build, they would like to get reimbursed because it costs a couple $100,000 from any future people that may ultimately connect. It's potentially sized for up to 10. Others along Lakeshore Drive, and they may or may not connect, who knows. But they do want to have at least the vehicle financially and legally to collect from those future users. So I've been working with Mr. Harris's firm, Mr. Rags' and his firm. We've come up with the private sewer agreement that has been utilized in the past by the district, etc. And we've kind of tailored it obviously for this particular use. And we've got a picture here on the. I appreciate the use of the schematic, the drawing. These are the homes that are on the private sewer agreement that went in front of the council. Those 5 homes. They're going to be individually connected with a grinder pump that is going to put their effluent into this line and ultimately come down Chastleton Drive here to near Hacienda. And that's what we're looking for. Number 1, approval of the plans that were originally filed some year and a half ago. And then ultimately preliminary approval of the private sewer agreement, subject to the costs, etc. Then we know what the reimbursement will be to the owners who are building this particular project. And so we'll be back here in front of this board with those numbers, what we propose to be able to get reimbursement from. But before we even go to the town of Long Beach, which is going to hopefully provide us with access to their streets to build this and utilize their streets for this low impact hydraulic system, we really need approval from the district to honor the commitment that they originally made, certified back in the day, a year and a half ago, and ultimately that will get us to the next step. But we'll be back, but I still need on the record, we need to have you all approve those plans, also approve preliminarily, again, that private sewer agreement. We know there's more hurdles to get and to jump through, but this will be a big one for us, for sure.
So all that said, as I've worked with both Mike and Mr. Rags, and of course Attorney Harris, I have an agreement with this. Of course, it will be of no cost to the district. This will all be, again, as they have to get an approval from Long Beach to actually take it down this roadway, okay, and get it to our location. Because this is, of course, our property does not start until this location of city property. So this being our current lift station, I've had this approved through Christopher Berg. They've studied this, and they've also given me their opinion, and will give me a written opinion that this will adequately take flow, and that this lift station can take these 5 homes. There'll be an additional home that will be down in this location that will also be coming to the board to go further down this way. And of course, once this, it will also take on this lift station. So there's no problem with these 5 homes being taken on this force main. And force main is not unusual. Questions? I make a recommendation that we do sign a resolution, get us to the next step, that they can pursue engineering and Long Beach and all the steps that Mr. Bergson has to make from this point on. But this will give them permission to take that step by you signing this resolution.
I move to approve the resolution as presented.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
Well, thank you so much on behalf of Lakeshore Sewer. We are extremely ecstatic. We've been holding our breath for quite a while, and we weren't going to go away. Obviously, we had to get something done, and it's a new day. And a lot of good things happen. I hate to. I'm not gonna make. I'm not gonna do the dance. Okay. I won't do the dance. But you all know what I mean. Yep. And so thank you so much on behalf of my clients. Yep. And we'll be back.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
See you then. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. You too.
Yes.
Okay. Next, I'm going to ask Al Wallace for Christopher Burke to come join us, who's going to help us introduce the proposed organizational chart for the sanitary district and also the updated job descriptions and salaries.
Thank you.
So good afternoon, good evening, commissioners. For the past couple of months, myself and my colleagues at Christopher Burke, Jenny Miller, who's here today, Adam Downey, who's been serving as a plant superintendent for the past 5 months, and General Manager Christy Gelski have been reviewing the organizational structure for the sanitary district and also meeting with Mayor Angie to kind of review how we can achieve some efficiencies in the organizational structure and also how the role of the general manager of the sanitary district fits in the overall role of managing multiple city departments. So working with all those parties talked about, I think you have a handout from this evening with the kind of redlined salary ordinance. I think that would be a good place to start. I think it might be the very back. Very back of that.
Oh.
Okay, handout
on the table. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need this?
No, go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
Studied it all day.
So for the organization, the sanitary district is kind of broken up into several departments. One, kind of the overall business aspect of it, starting with the general manager and the office staff.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Another one first.
I'll make another copy.
There you go. All right. Sorry, Al.
No, that's fine. So when we look at this position, to start with, we have general manager, operations manager, financial manager. In kind of reviewing the current organizational chart, we saw some redundancies in the overall management team with the fact having an operations manager seemed redundant since, you know, we have plant superintendent kind of taking care of all the plant functions. So we're recommending to delete the position of operations manager. And then with the financial manager, that's no longer kind of located within the sanitary district. Last month, the board entered into some memorandums of understanding with the city controller's office. So many of those financial items will be handled through oversight by the city controller, deputy city controller, with payment of wages from sanitary district. So from financial manager, we're going to convert that to a kind of multifaceted role of business and facilities manager, because we still feel there's a need to have executive level position here at the sanitary district monitoring financial expenditures, budgets, informing the different staff who are implementing projects, how much money is left in the budget. And then also that person can serve the dual role of also kind of managing facilities in general and facilitating some items with any HR issues that come up. So the business facilities manager to be multifaceted to monitor financials, monitor the actual facilities itself, and then also as our staff in the plant and collections is focusing more on the technical aspects of the job, the business facilities manager would be providing for refuse, IT, the plant and collections, systems with any HR issues that come up to facilitate those being addressed with the city and resolve all those. Moving a little bit further down, still within the business, we have the fleet manager, their position. We want to rename that and assign that to the collection department and kind of re-envision that position as an inspection and safety foreman. So it still would be managing fleet items, vehicles, the work that
Josh is doing now, tracking the vehicle condition, long-range replacement plan, all those kind of things. And also working with outside resources to kind of manage some of the safety programs at the sanitary district. And then moving down a little bit further, Rachel has been serving as a human resources assistant, and with some of the changes at City Hall, increasing some of the HR staff there, in some respects, we wanted to kind of reassign the human resource assistant to more administrative assistant role, and that ties into the general manager position overall at the very top of the list. Working with Mayor Angie, she's been working with other departments and has created a position of Director of Public Works / General Manager, and we would envision that that person, as that process is going, will be moving forward to solicit applications for Director of Public Works. Potentially that individual would be housed here at the Sanitary District. That will be a pretty critical role for the functioning of all the departments in the city. We have the job description for the Director of Public Works in the packet here. That person will be responsible for sanitary district, water department, city engineer. We can kind of go into that a little bit more, but kind of where this ties into this human resource assistant role is, as we do kind of rename that administrative assistant, that person would be reporting directly to the new Public Works Director and the Business Facilities Manager as well. So we believe that the role of Public Works Director and Business Facilities Manager really needs some assistance administratively to do those roles. With the lessening of the human resources being done here at the district, that opens up that staff person to take more of an administrative role to support the Director of Public Works and the Business Facilities Manager. Looking at the Collections Department at the bottom of page 1 here, in the past, we had a title of Collections Superintendent, Assistant Superintendent Collections, Assistant to the Assistant Superintendent Collections. So we want to kind of clean that up, and we're recommending 2 deletions. Deleting the Assistant to the Assistant Superintendent, deleting the Collection System Foreman, and as we see once we start looking at the organizational chart, we want to kind of reorganize that as the top person in collections would be the operations and inspections manager. And in previous board meetings, the board has mentioned the need to look at and revisit our maintenance of our sanitary sewers. And we recently bought some new equipment, some acoustic equipment to do inspections. So we're looking at a system where the operations and inspection manager will set both the maintenance program and work order priorities and the inspection work orders priorities, and then assign that to 2 key individuals. The former Assistant Superintendent Collections will be renamed Sewer Operations and Maintenance Foreman. So that sewer operations maintenance foreman will be responsible for issuing daily work orders and tracking the daily activity of the sewer techs that are going out cleaning sewers. And then the other key person in that role will be the inspection and safety foreman, who would be assigned locations to 2 individuals that would go out and use the new acoustic equipment to do our sewer inspections. So we're refocused from kind of this multiple level of management to 1 main manager with 2 assistants, 1 assistant for maintenance and 1 assistant for inspections. And having those 2 key people there, if one is on vacation or off work, the other can kind of step in that role and fill in. So we feel we'll be a little bit stronger there. And then on the back side of the page, we start talking about the plant operations. We, with the departure of Mike Miladovich over the summer as plant superintendent, Jordan Hines, the senior operator, on an interim basis has been assisting with some of the plant superintendent duties. We posted a job opening for plant superintendent at about $83,000. We did receive one applicant. The applicant had some good technical qualities, but was lacking with any management of staff or supervisory responsibilities, with about 20 or 30 or so individuals within the umbrella plant superintendent. That lack of management had some concerns. So we were not successful at the previous posting at that level of compensation to get candidates. We since reconvened with Mayor Angie, reviewed the situation with my colleagues Jenny Miller, Adam Downey, in light of the fact that we had an operations manager previously at $110,000 that we're now deleting and no longer have on the books. We've received approval to increase the salary range for plant superintendent from a range of $84,000 to $110,000 based on experience and previous work history. So we're ready, if the board approves our updated organizational chart, job descriptions, and salary recommendations, to repost the opening for water reclamation superintendent. We're cautiously optimistic that with this larger range, we should be able to get some candidates for that position, and we'd like to move post haste to try and get that filled so we can then start bringing this new person on board. Another couple tweaks in the plant operations. In plant department, we have water reclamation superintendent, so we're proposing that new salary range. The lab manager has been there many years, is doing a very good job there. We have no changes there. We currently have a chief operator process control, so we kind of reviewed that with Adam, who's worked at other waste treatment plants, and it seemed to be a little bit of a redundant position. However, we do need some staff to help out with our pre-treatment program. So we have a handful of businesses in the city of Michigan City that have pre-treatment permits, which requires us to do quarterly inspections, issue permits to them. So there's some work involved in managing the pre-treatment program. And also when we treat wastewater, we end up with sludge biosolids, which we store on site. Then we have to truck those to farms in southern LaPorte County. So we need a staff person to manage that. So we're proposing to delete the position of Chief Operator Process Control and re-envision that, rename that as Pre-Treatment and Biosolids Manager. And both of those tasks are about maybe 40% of one's time. So that person may be doing pre-treatment 40%, biosolids 40%, and then the other 20% would have that person some time availability to work with the plant superintendent on operator scheduling and other plant issues. So we feel the plant organization will be much stronger by implementing that change there. And then Chief Mechanic, Preventive Maintenance, we just want to rename that to be consistent with other job titles as Plant Maintenance Manager. And we're proposing increase of that salary to $77,302.39. The specifics of that number then would make that equal to the new sewer operations and maintenance foreman, engineer one, close. So we're trying to level off salaries of individuals at the same level organizational chart. So I think this chart here kind of shows, our reasoning behind it, and then the new handout today with all the color shading here, color shading kind of shows kind of the reimagined organizational chart where we have the mayor kind of responsible overall for the sanitary district operations. The mayor appoints the board of commissioners. Under the board of commissioners will be the public works director, general manager, and under the public works director we'll have the plant superintendent, water reclamation superintendent, and the business and facilities manager reporting to the public works director. So we're trying to lessen the burden on public works by having one or two key people here at the district to manage all the employees here. refuse and IT, which are part of the sanitary district, will be reporting to the business and facilities manager. We expect, both the refuse and IT to kind of manage their departments well, like they are now, but then the business manager will be able to provide additional assistance in budget review, oversight, and HR oversight as well. So we're not looking to micromanage what refuse or IT doing, but provide additional support services for them. And then in the middle of the org chart, we have in the blue background all the different positions within the plant. The blue box is the water reclamation superintendent, and then we have a very thin organizational chart, 4 key people reporting to that individual, and then the different technicians. Down below, we just kind of, for reference, show the other divisions within the district, the refuse, IT, which are kind of standalone but part of the district, and we have support services from the City Controller's Office and City Human Resources. Along with the packet with the black binder clip, we've included 9 updated job descriptions. They are for the Director of Public Works General Manager, which was prepared in conjunction with the Mayor's Office. And then we have Business and Facilities Manager, Administrative Assistant, Water Reclamation Superintendent, Plant Maintenance Manager, Pre-Treat and Biosolids Manager, Operations Inspection Manager, Sewer Operations Maintenance Foreman, Inspection Safety Foreman. And the evolution of the job description format we've included, we reached out to Human Resource Director for the templates that the city's using for job descriptions. So we're trying to convert some of these job descriptions that are 9 or 10 years old to this new format to be consistent with what the city's doing. Some of the job description changes are mainly just in title based on the new titles in the organizational chart. Some we have included more specific responsibility, especially in terms of the sewer operations and maintenance foreman, on assigning staff daily, monitoring work during the day, and reassigning staff for efficiencies. And so we've kind of cleaned all that up. So we would be in position today to recommend to the board the consideration and potential approval of the updated organizational charts, potential consideration approval of the 9 revised job descriptions, and then working with Attorney Harris's office at the very back of the pack, the last couple of pages, he was able to take our red markings and put together a clean copy of the resolution of updated salaries. And kind of the sense of urgency we're having today is new pay period is coming up, December 1st. If the board would decide to move forward with these recommendations, we've got approval from the mayor to implement the proposed job title changes and wage changes as of December 1st. And that kind of coincides with the work we're doing with Andy Botanic from the IT department to roll out a new work order management system. So we're anxious to get that new system, have the new collection team in place with the inspection operations manager and then the 2 foremen to implement the program. So that's our recommendation to move forward for the rest of the year.
Are you cutting jobs with this?
No, there's no loss of jobs. The positions that are being eliminated are vacant, and in some cases, we're taking a vacant position and biosolids and the pretreatment of biosolids manager, that's an open position. So the one position that would be open, we would go through the normal job posting, seek applicants from within the district to fill that. And then if we don't get it, we would move out to the general public. But we're not eliminating any current position that is staff, so no one would be losing a job with this reorganization.
So it's actually saving the city some money.
Yes, and what we'll do is, we didn't have time to do the whole financial balance, but yeah, there's significant savings with these job deletions, so we'll have that update for you at the December meeting. So, because it's not only just these salaries, it is then kind of the health benefits, the retirement benefits, all those add up. We did a tentative sheet a couple months ago, but we'll update that if this new salary resolution is approved and provide that information to the board.
Any questions?
Should we look for a motion?
Well, I got one more thing.
Okay.
On one of the positions on here, you have nobody for safety for the workers.
That's in the new inspection and safety foreman.
Is that foreman the same as like a worker? That's not really a safety for the worker people.
No, that's foreman level person, and we've been working with that individual to have access to outside safety resources. So it's kind of more of a in-house person to kind of make sure we're doing required safety throughout the whole district, with the refuse, with collection, with the plant. There's some really specific safety requirements when it comes to handling some of the gases we have here, so we're working with our gas supplier consultants to help us with that safety training. So it's not a technician out there during the regular day and then in the spare time would be working on safety. It would be a fundamental requirement of that job position to dedicate part of his day to making sure the vehicles are safe, and we've caught up on all our safety training for the staff.
He's also a CDL instructor. He's also a CDL instructor. He also does the CDL testing. He also does.
Right. I just seen it say foreman, and to me, you can't have a guy that's a foreman be still safety for the workers. That's like a conflict of interest because he's still looking at, we got to get the job done. Then safety's out the window. You know what I mean?
But we've limited the kind of direct foreman responsibilities to like just a portion of his day. So we're looking to kind of split up the day into, in the morning, that person would be responsible for daily assignment of the inspection tasks. And then as those individuals go out and are doing their work, then he would have available time to do the other part of the job duty from the safety point of view. So we're kind of having those discrete elements of the day to be able to handle all that. And then Jenny, did you want to?
He also manages our fleet too. He's also that fleet guy too.
There's one other item. As you know, Adam has been acting as the superintendent and signatory to the plant. And he is not here in town and is not able to continue to do that. So I believe another sense of urgency is that we need to get the superintendent position posted right away so that we have some time to fill that. And Adam and our team will be working with IDEM to get a grace period of when we have to have that signatory in place. But the idea is to be able to post that position as soon as possible.
Any other questions?
Chris, have you had a chance to look at all of these job descriptions?
Oh. Yes. So, and again, besides the changes that we're making today, which would be to the positives, we will also be revisiting this again in December, at the next meeting for the new year. So we'll have a new salary ordinance in place at that time for 2025. This is just to get us through December 1st through the rest of this year. But the new changes, of course, then will go back, go into 2025. I have one amendment to that, and because we are promoting, or we did promote our chief mechanic, his position of a mechanic 2 is open, so I want to promote within and move one person up the ladder. That's my only request. Besides, I fully agree with every bit of what Al has presented, and we've been through this for quite some time.
Okay. Well, can we get a motion to approve?
I'd like to put forth a motion to approve the updated organizational chart, updated job descriptions, as well as the updated salaries as presented.
I will second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. And then I've got one last, also going to address under new business item B, community change grant application. So a couple months ago, the mayor requested the sanitary district to work with Robinson Engineering on applying for an EPA. We don't have any information in your packet now, but we'll have the full grant application sent to you for December meeting. It's part of if you recall, Inflation Reduction Act had about $3 billion nationwide for communities of a certain economic level. Michigan City qualified for that. The city, through the planning department, already applied for one community change grant. The city is allowed to apply for two, so the mayor instructed us to go ahead and apply for one with a focus on the second grant on sewer infrastructure improvements. So the grant requires a minimum request of $10 million and a maximum request of $20 million with no local match. So working with our GIS staff and our sewer staff, we're roughly going to break down about $7 million in sewer lining projects in some of our older sewers that have root infiltration problems and joint leaking and cracking. So we've got about 66,000 lineal feet of pipe we're looking to line structurally. So that's that could be a huge win for Michigan City. For sewer separation project, there's a large area around Marsh School. We kind of call it the Lafayette Barker area that still has separated sewers. We put in some infrastructure to get to the creek. So we have about $7 million in this grant application to get the outfall of Lafayette Barker constructed, and then that will allow us to start doing sewer separation for the rest of the Lafayette Barker area. The board has engaged Hazen Associates to design the Carroll Avenue Sanitary Sewer Extension Project, but we did not have any funding for that, so we've included sanitary sewer expansion to that area in the community change grant. The grant requires green infrastructure components. Trail expansion is one of them. So the district received the US 12 force main bids today, and that force main is going down the old railroad right-of-way here by Peanut Bridge. So we've included money in the community change grant to extend that walking trail from like Burnham Brewery on Highway 12 across the street through some city right-of-way to Center Street by Cool Runnings. That would allow the Eastport area then have sidewalk or trail access from Eastport all the way directly to Lake Michigan. And then some of the homes on Lakeshore Drive would then have access to the Singing Sands Trail. So we think that's a huge component of the trail system to finish that off. And then we're also required to do community engagement. So Monday, I appeared before the North Central Community Action Agency, and they approved a memorandum of understanding where they're going to partner with us to develop a community garden near Carroll Avenue and Michigan Boulevard, where the school administration building is. There's a big, huge grass area there.
The Cheney Run grass area.
Yes. So this is city-owned property, so we believe our grant could get additional points in scoring because we're going to, we have up to 3/4 of an acre potentially for community gardens, and the NCCAA has experience with running community gardens, 2 gardens in Michigan City, one on the east side, one on the west side. They've had a problem where at the end of the year they might have a lot of food kind of left over. They like to can it and then be able to distribute it, but they are limited in space. They're looking to expand one of their buildings. So we put $20,000 in the grant to buy some kitchen equipment for them, which would then enable them to can vegetables at the end of the season. And we're looking to partner with some of the high school kids on some of the management of that. So it's really, we think, a really strong application, and it could be, a big game changer for the sanitary district or infrastructure improvements and also the trail and the community garden, so real excited about that. The deadline for submitting is tomorrow, we're all done.
That was my next question,
Yes.
is if we can add some things.
Our total ask right now is like 19,700,000, so.
Okay, I wouldn't be able to add that risky sewer north in Potawatomi Park anyway.
Not yet, yes. And thankfully, we're working with City Planning Department. They have staff that are signed up to the EPA grant submittal process, so we're working with Sylvia there to get that all done. Started that today, we'll get that done tomorrow, and then we'll wait and see how that turns out. But
I do want to keep that Potawatomi Park, Michigan City. There's 12 homes north, unrisky north of Springland that don't have sewer in Michigan City, and another 12 in Potawatomi Park that could connect.
Yeah, so it'd be a good project too.
And there's no match.
Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask.
It's not a matching grant, we have to match money.
And the reason for the no match appears to be this grant is really focused on economically challenged census tracts. So there's actually, we had to go on the EPA website and look at a map to see based on census data, income data, which particular census tracts qualify, and all the projects we discussed are in census tracts that meet that qualification. So I think the reason for no match is to, change communities by bringing in these resources. So
you go further from the fence and come back.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Okay, no other business. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. This is the sanitation board.
All in favor?
Aye.
And notices will be sent out for the date of our December 4th meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.